About set to begin another week of football, and happy to have you along. We are underway on Thursday night prime time. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
And a year ago when he was drafted, it felt like central casting. Bo Nix coming to the NFL ready to roll, and he surpassed all expectations a season ago and threw for nearly 30 touchdown passes as a rookie. Fell just short with 29, but a huge piece of his team's future.
Here's the local Texas product, J.K. Dobbins. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play. It's second down.
At the 29-yard line.
Off the play fake. Nix. That's taken in by Franklin. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down.
And time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. This duo locked in, 14 yards there, and a first down.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep and curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. And let's see who's faster.
Here's a quick throw caught out wide. Called a gain of 3 on the play, and it's second down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Here's a second down and 7 from the 37. They'll go play action with Nix. And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is third down. To throw, here's Nix. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 23. Well, on third down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Second and 6. Nix to the air. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. It'll go as a gain of 4. And this will wind up being a third and 3. And a good sign for them right now to have their young quarterback looking confident on the opening drive.
Now, we haven't met a young quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. We haven't met a quarterback yet that doesn't tell us he's confident about his abilities, right?
That's true.
But when you're young, it's really important to get off to a good start because it does build up that confidence.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. It'll go in the books as a sack and a loss of a yard, but more importantly, it leads to fourth down. And that sack there, that likely brings out the field goal unit, so they might have to settle for 3 here on their opening drive.
They did some nice things, getting things started there, moving the ball downfield, but taking that sack on third down, that lets the air out of the momentum balloon just a little bit.
Now Lutz for the field goal try. From the right hash, this from 33. The kick by Lutz is good. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. So here come the Texans now for their first drive. And they'll be led out by a guy who has a couple years under his belt in the NFL, their third-year quarterback.
And there's no doubt about the talent that we see from C.J. Stroud. We've watched it develop in his first 2 years in the league. But the best way quarterbacks are graded is winning. He's out there trying to win his 3rd division championship in as many years.
Now a run. Here's the rookie from USC. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent game.
2nd and 4.
From the 29, here's the 2nd down and 4. Throwing now is Stroud. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Marks now on 1st and 10. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
Well, that's not an easy play for a defensive end because most of his responsibility has him getting upfield and working, but how about his vision to see where the play was going, crashed down inside, and tackled him for a loss.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. He'll get this into the hands of Nico Collins. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 45-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 45-yard line. And a quick shuffle pass here is complete. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40.
Now that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced down. It's in the game.
Just about set for a start. Happy to have you with us, and we are underway here on Thursday Night Primetime. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
And there's no doubt about the talent that we see from C.J. Stroud. We've watched it develop in his first 2 years in the league. But the best way quarterbacks are graded is winning. He's out there trying to win his third division championship in as many years.
Stroud sets up the play action. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
Play action here on the first play from scrimmage. They want to see how the linebackers are going to react. Are they looking to stop the run? Or are they going to sit back in coverage? A really nice job there of going in attack mode early, and they pick up a quick first down.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That was Terrell Bernard navigating his way to the backfield and dropping him for a loss.
And that's exactly what offenses try to avoid by using motion and throwing different formations up. They hate when he can draw a bead on the play, get a running start, and make a big play behind the line of scrimmage as he did just there.
Open man is Kirk, complete. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It'll go as a gain of 4. And that brings up third and a full 10 yards. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. And that will be incomplete.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt. Back deep for Buffalo, Brandon Condrington. This is taken at the 15. It's a return of 5 following a punt of 42 yards. And the Bills will take over the football with a first and 10. For the Buffalo offense coming out, and it is Josh Allen who is at the helm.
And prior to last season, his team asked him to put everyone on his back and carry them to success, and he did exactly that. Now, at this point in his career, all he cares about is postseason success and finding a way to get his team to a Super Bowl.
They start the drive with Cook. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3. From the gun, it's Allen. Pass over the middle, tipped, but he still brings it in. Quick slant there, gets him the first down, 6 yards on the play.
Sometimes luck is all you need. That was not even the intended receiver on that play.
Well, Johnny on the spot, though.
Yeah, and it turned into a big play for those guys on offense. They'll take it each and every time.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a give running right, it's Cook. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So a step in the wrong direction. Now they'll look to make amends on 2nd and 14. That's taken in by Palmer. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it brings up 3rd and 5 now.
And I think this is a route we'll see more of as this game goes on, because with his speed, they want to get him the ball in space on drag routes just like this. They want him to get the ball and run after the catch. Good job there, though, holding him for a short gain.
Here's Allen. And that's going to be Incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up fourth down.
And that's exactly what defenses talk about. You've got to find ways to get off the field when you can, especially on third down. And third down defense going to be vital in this game. Able to knock that one away and force a fourth down.
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away. Here's Knoll. Following the punt return here, there's someone shaken up. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. The last series form a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Stroud going to give to Marks. And he stopped immediately there. He winds up giving a yard back there, and now it's 3rd and 2.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see.
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. Well, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
Incomplete.
2 drives won't tell the story of this game, but you absolutely have to like how this defense has played thus far. They have yet to allow this offense to get untracked in this one.
Here's Tommy Townsend now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. So here come the Bills out for their 2nd drive. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. Throwing now is Allen. Setting up the screen for Cook. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. 7 yards there on the first down screen play.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
A short throw pulled in by Kincaid. First time that they called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that will bring up 2nd down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And a lane slow materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Allen now looks to throw. And it is caught. take it into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Khalil Shakir, 55 yards. And the Bills put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play. And just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm a defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. And it's 7-0 Buffalo. That time, 75-yard drive, 5 plays. And it was all polished off with a Khalil Shakir touchdown catch. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Houston's offense taking over again. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive. Looking to put a drive together. Play action. Stroud now. That would almost intercepted, but it's incomplete. Not a good throw there, and it'll be second down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. Stroud off the play fake. He'll swing this out to Marks. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense, because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
That's a play that will likely be forgotten when you talk about big moments in this game. But plays like this are critical to keep drives going. And if points result, we'll call this play significant.
Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. The throwing again is Stroud. A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Play action. Here's Stroud. There goes a deep ball. End zone. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Nico Collins, 44 yards. And the Texans are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Charles, there aren't really any slow receivers, but there's fast and then really fast. He's really fast, and he showed off the afterburners there.
And that he is, because when he took off, I was thinking there's no chance that he can actually reach him with that pass. Yet he did, and he's still sprinting. And just think about what that does for everyone else on his team, because his ability to stretch a field opens things up for the rest of the receivers on the team.
Kaimi Fairbairn on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. So that drive spanned 5 plays.
And it was Nico Collins who finished it off with a touchdown reception.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
Certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do, and gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
The Texans getting set here to take over again on offense. They'll have very good starting field position here as they try to break our tie, and they start 1st and 10. Marks now on 1st and 10. They'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4 on 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
Stroud to throw it. On the throw led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
They haven't made much of this great starting field position they had. Here's 3rd and 6.
Here's Stroud.
Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So on 4th down, Texan kicker Kaimi Fairbairn comes on. It's a 39-yard attempt right hash. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And they take the lead here now at 10-7.
So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember, last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground.
He'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
He was brought down at the
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
Second down, 8 to go from the 28. Palmer going in motion right. To throw, it's Allen. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Palmer. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Here's Allen to throw it. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And the Bills first down. First and 10 at the 47.
That was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up second and 5.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Now Allen. A short throw pulled in by Kincaid. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
A gain of 4.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. Allen now on the sneak. And he'll get nothing out of that one. Only a yard on the sneak, not enough. And he's a few inches short for 4th down.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This will be a critical call.
Allen will look to throw for it on 4th. Able to find the open man. That's complete. That's a 4th down pickup of 10 yards, and an opportunity certainly missed on the defensive side.
And that's a big pickup of a first down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Azeez Al-Shaair in to make the stop.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Now Allen. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Well, it looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. To the shotgun snap to Allen. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 19. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
13 yards.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
To the air, Allen. And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Khalil Shakir with his 2nd touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Bills are able to move back in front. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, Now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Prater on to add the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. So that one a long 11-play drive.
And it was all polished off with the Khalil Shakir touchdown catch.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
2nd and 7. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. There's a short throw taken in by Bryant.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
Up the middle, it's Marks. And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks, giving the yard up to the 42.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
They run straight ahead with Marks.
And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Stroud. That'll be complete to Marks. And he is going to have a Texans first down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
And the Texans first down. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Ready for the second quarter from Houston. It's the Texans in possession of the football. From the 42-yard line, here's the 2nd down and 9. Now Stroud going to bat it forward on the touch pass.
And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Call it no gain on the run there, and
A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
And incomplete on the deep ball.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on to kick this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback.
The Bills ready to take over.
And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Beginning this series with a handoff to Cook.
Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5. He was brought down at the 26.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Allen.
He's got his man. That's Coleman.
And he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. A big play here for Buffalo. 46 yards. What a first half this has been offensively. I mean, defensively, what do you do when you're getting torched like this?
Now, these receivers are absolutely wearing them out. So 2 thoughts come to mind. 1, get some oxygen. You can fill up your lungs a little bit. And number 2, talk to your guys up front. You need a pass rush. Don't slow them down.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
They'll give to Cook on the read option. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. They'll say no gain on the play, so it was looking good, but nothing there, and now it's 3rd down and inches. The Bills on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Allen taking it himself. And he's going to have a 1st down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line.
It's a gain of a yard.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the 1st down.
And as we say often, shows confidence in your offensive line. Now this time, Allen will throw. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Already a pair of 3rd down conversions for them on this drive, but right now they need 5 yards on this 3rd down try. The slot man in motion right. going to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo. Keon Coleman, an 11-yard touchdown. And they are able to add on to their advantage.
A nice connection there, finding his target, and that'll put 6 up on the board.
Just like they drew it up in their playbook and reiterated it on the sidelines, right? Perfect route, a good throw, and the defense, they had no answer for that right there.
Now Prater to add the PAT. It's good, and it's 21-10. So that drive, 80 yards, 9 plays. And it ends in a Buffalo touchdown. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick.
And he returns this to the 22.
Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They'll look to make some inroads here, trailing 21-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Looking to put a drive together.
They'll begin on the ground with Marks.
And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Throwing now is Stroud. They set up the screen. Marks.
Oh, what a juke into space. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. 22 yards there, a 1st down.
And that was a beautifully executed screen pass. They let the rushers get upfield and get the escorts in front, meaning the offensive linemen, other blockers out in front, completed the pass beautifully. So now you've got all that open space, the big guys leading the way.
And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers, he's under 3 yards a carry at the moment.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's the 2nd and 9.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Throw right side is going to be caught by Kirk. So 8 yards on the completion there. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Stroud keeps it. And he is going to have the Texans 1st down. At least it would appear that way. He didn't get it by much, but yes, they do get the conversion on 3rd and 1.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
We ran it last time. Now Stroud will throw it. Throw right side, taken in by Collins.
And he's taken down inside the 30. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Stroud looking to throw.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. Now a stoppage here as we've got a Bill shaken up on the play.
Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. On the give, here's Marks. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Joey Bosa so strong, able to fight his way in there to make the play.
This defense has really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
The handoff, it's Marks. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 9. And Stroud now to throw. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way. A dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
Fairbairn now following the made field goal. He'll send this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Bills offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And he's had things all his way in this first half. The numbers sensational as he'll look to add to them with another drive here. Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
not the case. Not
at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far. That's caught right side by Palmer. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helped to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Here's 3rd and 6. Allen now looks to throw. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
And the Bills, first down. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Again, they'll throw with Allen. Swinging this out wide here for Cook. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it.
And that's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all.
1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. Allen from the gun on 3rd down. He's able to get it to Coleman. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 23. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play. He's turning in a nice performance. Remember, he had the touchdown earlier, and this time he's able to beat double coverage to grab it.
I think that if he weren't worried about a taunting penalty, he'd run by the opposing team's bench and say, guys, 2's not going to be enough. You better get some more guys trying to cover me. He knows how to get open downfield.
Here's Allen to throw it. Quick slant to Shakir. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. Josh Palmer, an 18-yard touchdown grab.
And the Bills go up by 2 touchdowns. So the numbers are starting to pile up here early on. We have yet to reach halftime, yet that is already now 4 touchdown passes.
Prater on to add the extra point. And the lead is up to 15 now. So that drive goes 8 plays.
And it ends with a touchdown pass to Josh Palmer.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 to 27. The Texans offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he has been a big component of the passing game so far. You see the numbers for this first half. This defense is going to need to find some way to key in on him because he is eating them up right now.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score.
2nd down and a yard. Stroud to throw it.
A short one going to be taken in here by Schultz.
That one a first down pickup of 8.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Here's Stroud. This one caught downfield by Higgins.
Touchdown, Houston.
Jaden Higgins, 56 yards. And the Texans get a bit closer.
Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
Fairbairn now to add the extra point. And this one's back to an 8-point game. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And able to get this out to the 25. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Gets around him. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. 49 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain the next 2 to 3 seconds to continue to move people.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Allen. The throw to the left side, caught by Coleman. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. So with a yardage on that completion, he's now right at exactly 300 yards on the game.
And isn't that the magic number you get, all right, 300? That means it's going to go on a commemorative football to put on your mantle when they give you the game ball if your team wins. So much confidence flowing through him right now, throwing the football. I think it's permeated itself throughout the entire team. They feel good about what they're doing. It's been a good drive so far. They just wanted to keep it going, so they call low-risk, low-reward play. No one's worried about picking up big yardage here. Quarterback sneak, keep the chains moving, and pick up another 1st down.
To the air, Allen setting up the screen for Cook. Pushing his way through. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 16 yards there, and the Bills have a 1st down.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
They'll try the middle with Cook. They'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
At the 21-yard line.
2nd down and 4. Again, it's Cook. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this 1st half of action. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. So the shotgun snap to Allen.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
With nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Not too many missteps in the red zone thus far. He was going for his 5th touchdown pass. His man couldn't shake free there, but boy, you know he's going to take another shot before this one's over.
Yeah, exactly, because you know 3 is good, 4 is excellent. You get 5. That's a whale of a game.
Slot man moves right. Now Allen. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
Well, every point certainly counts at this stage of the game, but after driving so far, you absolutely know they want to finish it with 6 instead of 3.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now Allen.
That's caught by Kincaid, working the middle of the field.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on is Matt Prater now to try a field goal here from 28 yards out. Prater's kick is good. So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Houston set to take over. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least 1 practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Open man is Higgins. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime.
Any questions of how they'd approach this drive were answered right there. They come out throwing, and they get a nice pickup here toward the end of the first half.
A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost.
Open man is Kirk, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Well, this hasn't really been a first half to remember on either side of the ball, but I think this kind of makes this an important drive. You'd love to get this back to a 1-score game if you can, and that's good work there to get some yardage here and pick up the first down.
This pass complete to Higgins. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 3 at the 35-yard line.
2nd down and 3. Throwing now is Stroud. They'll swing this out to Marks.
And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt. Fairbairn able to put this one through. And that will do it for this first half.
So halftime is upon us on Thursday night primetime, and we go off to Orlando. And Scott Hansen for our halftime report.
All right, Brandon, thanks much. Welcome in, everyone, to the studios of the Creative Village here in Orlando. Scott Hansen with you, and you know, we've seen some scoring so far. Both teams getting into the end zone, both teams thinking they could pull out the win in the second half. Who's it going to be? Let's find out. Back out to the stadium and our broadcast team, Brandon Gxlden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Scott, thanks a bunch. And we'll see which team's adjustments are going to pay dividends here as we are just about ready for the start of the second half.
Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3?
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter.
First and 10, and kind of tipping their hand at running the ball. 3 tight ends are out there.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right here. Throwing now is Allen. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it, and it's second down.
It's vitally important to wrap him up immediately, because if you let that big guy get a head of steam up, boy, then you've got real trouble trying to get him down.
But they're able to hold him to a short gain on first down. To throw, it's Allen. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Allen gonna throw. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 21 yards there on 3rd down.
A gain of 21 yards. First down, Buffalo.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Cook up the gut. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Now a 2nd and 6.
Allen. A short throw pulled in by Kincaid. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 38-yard line. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll make it second down.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
And he is is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a third down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
On third and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
Now, this is a feeling I can relate to all too well. Deflation on third and short. Excellent coverage. Took away all the short routes, but the one person who wasn't accounted for, the quarterback. And he used his legs to hot-foot it for a first down.
And Cook has it left side. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
And good yardage there on first down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
Just need a yard here. Second and 1.
They run the counter with Cook. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a third and very short.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the first.
And when all you want to do is keep your drive going, quarterback sneak's a great call, isn't it? Pick it up, get a new set of downs.
And on third down, usually you'd think fourth down quarterback sneak. There, though, it worked on third. Now this time, Allen will throw. Nice move at the 5. A good display of power, but it will only get him just inside the 5 to the 4. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
Good call there on first down. And, Brandon, I'm getting better over the years and not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
From the gun, it's Allen.
And this throw incomplete. And the defender all over him that time, and it's going to lead to third down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Now they face a third down and 4 after that incompletion on second down. Allen now looks to throw. And he's got it. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to make it fourth down.
Well, it looks like they got what they wanted. They got the completion, but they weren't able to break any tackles or gain nearly enough yardage to pick up the first down. Now to be fourth and short.
Running for it. Here's Cook. And he takes it in across the chalk for a Bills touchdown.
James Cook, a touchdown run there from a yard out. And the Bills take the chance on 4th and goal, and it pays off with 6. This defense held out as long as they could, but ultimately the running game wears them down from the 1-yard line.
And that gets set up throughout the entire drive, doesn't it? And when you put those big bodies and determination into that carry, the end result, touchdown.
Now Prater to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. That drive a long one, spanning 15 plays.
And it was James Cook capping all of that off with a touchdown run.
And after the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. make it to the 25. Here's the Texans offense now, readying for their first possession of the second half.
Well, the opposition laid down the challenge, an opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a two-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome? A little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35.
44 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
On first down, back to Marks.
And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. 2nd and 9. Stroud looking to throw.
And he finds his target. It's Schultz. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then of course they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
And he'll take it across midfield and into Buffalo territory. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so.
Now that was an excellent run, and when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block, but the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Stroud.
And it's incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
2nd and 10. Now Stroud. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down. He did an okay job of absorbing the hit, just couldn't secure the football through the catch.
And he was right there on the spot and forced the incompletion. That's something defenders work on all the time. If you're there, make the contact, but continue to work your way through the receiver so that you can't possess the football and turn it into a catch.
And he is caught down inside the 10.
And he's all the way down to the 6-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
First down. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
On the handoff, Marks.
And he gets him a little bit closer and takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball in.
2nd and goal from inside the 5.
He'll try again. And this time he is in for a Houston touchdown. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance blocking and getting their runner across the goal line.
On for the PAT, Kaimi Fairbairn. And this one's back to an 8-point game. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Back now on offense, the Buffalo Bills. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Off play action. Allen. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Here's Allen to throw it. Shakir hauls it in. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards the pickup there.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
They run with Cook. He's been busy tonight. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It was Danielle Hunter to make the play in the backfield.
I'll tell you what, this defense hasn't played its best, but they're still right in this football game. And if they keep making plays just like that, they're going to give their offense a chance.
On 2nd and 15 now. Allen. And he'll get it down here to the 43. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectations.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They've brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary. You know, we might start getting some props here in the booth. You know, that one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. The Bills send the punter out as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line.
And the football going back over now to the Houston Texans.
And that last touchdown drive they had, very balanced. How key is that balance?
It's huge because most of the time when we talk about balance is run, pass, almost 50-50. But most of the times when you talk to offensive coaches, they say balance is we do what we want when we want to. And that means that they're ahead of the defense, keeping them on their heels.
Yeah, they imposed their will on that last drive. First carry for Nick Chubb. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
And give him a lot of credit there, but even more credit to the guys up front. In that situation, you know it's going to be a stacked defensive front. And to be able to gain that much yardage, that's a big win for the guys on offense.
Yeah, they were just about standing on their own goal line, so to get a few yards there, a great start. Now we'll see what second down brings. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
From the gun on third down, here's Stroud. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That's a third down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
And the Texans first down. First and 10 at the 32-yard line.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Stroud going to give to Marks. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
From the 37, they work on second and 6. Here's Stroud. And they take him down. The Bills get to him. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
Seventh play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. A shotgun snap to Stroud. To the sideline and incomplete.
How about the coverage we just saw him break out on third down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
The Texans send the punter out as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. The Bills offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And now a tip of the cap to the man under center, Charles. He just went over 400 yards passing in this ball game. He's got the touchdown passes to boot, taking pretty good care of the ball. Just all around a really solid performance.
Yeah, just check, and check, right? Because he certainly showed he was worthy of the trust that his team put in him. A handful of touchdowns to his credit thus far. Now he's just crossing off yardage milestones, and win or lose, his name has to be in serious discussion for player of the game.
First and 10.
Well, he
at the
flew past 200,
38-yard line.
300, 400 yards. Now he's over 450 yards passing on the day.
So what you're saying is oxygen for everyone catching the ball and trying to defend?
Yeah, especially those guys trying to defend right now.
No doubt. They've got to be a confused group because they haven't been able to defend him very well at all. And I think he just wants to keep firing. When you have that kind of a day, you're just locked in. Just keep calling those pass plays. And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another first down.
To the air, Allen throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area, and after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Allen to throw once more. And he's going to be taken down with another first down as the stop's made at the Texans' 17-yard line. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
A gain of 18 on the play. First down, Buffalo.
Fourth quarter coming up here on Thursday Night Primetime. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Houston. It's the Bills with a lead and the football here to begin the fourth quarter. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. 73 yards rushing for him now as he's done it on 19 carries.
First down. First and goal.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well. And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him,
Touchdown, Bills! James Cook. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Bills have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this fourth quarter. And that's certainly an important touchdown there. It makes this a 2-score game.
but as we've seen, no lead is safe in this one with the way these two offenses have lit up the scoreboard. I would imagine that on their sidelines, they're both yelling at their defenses, hey, you want to get involved here? One big play from you, that could win the game for us.
Prater on to add the extra point. And the lead is up to 15 now. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was James Cook finishing things off with a touchdown catch. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Terrell Bernard is in on the tackle.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
Stroud to throw it.
And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's third down.
He found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
The Texans on third down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This is third down and 12.
And Stroud now to throw.
And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line.
The visitors' offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And he has been masterful so far in leading this offense. He's kept the mistakes to a minimum. He's been on point with his passes, and he's generally been one step ahead of this defense all game long.
Buffalo offense ready to go for their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock, and this is 2nd and less than a yard. Now Allen. They'll set up the screen with Davis. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 12 yards that time, and a Bills first down.
Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? At this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think you continue to do so.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
That's another Bills first down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomp down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Allen running the option to the left. And he'll get this down to about the 31-yard line. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Now Allen. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Allen from the gun on 3rd down. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. And the defense coming through on 3rd down. A loss of 7 to bring up 4th.
He was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
So on is Matt Prater now to try a field goal here. This to make it a 3-score game late. Prater's kick is good, and the Bills will add on to their lead. So that almost certainly the final piece to this puzzle, a 3-score lead. I don't think there's any coming back from there.
But you know, normally I'd get on you for giving up on the game right here, but I do think you're right in this case. This late in the game, 2 scores is tough enough. 3, I'm with you. That seems out of the question.
Prater now will send it away following the made field goal. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Will find Marks out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
Gregory Rousseau able to bring him down. They work now on 2nd and 9. Back to throw. Here's Stroud.
And completes it to Kirk over the middle. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. Stroud out of the gun here.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Joey Bosa drops him for a loss of 12, and it also brings up 4th down.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Now Kaimi Fairbairn out for the field goal try for the Texans. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. The kick by Fairbairn is good. And that'll get the deficit down to 15. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
Bear now. Following the made field goal, he'll send this one away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The visitors' offense and running back James Cook heading onto the field. And it's hard to believe you could run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, it's all been on display throughout. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6.
Ball on the 27. Here's 2nd and 4.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Throwing now is Allen. They'll get this over the middle here to Palmer. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
12 yards that time, and a Bills first down.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
On play action, Allen finding Shakir across the formation. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. And that's going to do it. With that last throw, he surpasses Norm Van Brocklin's mark of 554 passing yards in one game, set more than 70 years ago, way back in 1951. He's had help from his offensive line and his receivers, but this has been an incredible individual performance. The first down carry for Davis. He'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Allen now on the sneak.
And he is going to have a Bills first down, at least at first glance, as they'll spot the football just beyond the marker. They find a way to convert on 3rd and inches.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
Inside give to Davis.
And they're knocking on the door now. As a good run there, going to take this to about the 10-yard line.
13 yards.
A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal. Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and mini camps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
2-0, Keon Coleman. It's a gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and goal at the 9-yard line.
Here's Allen. And this is caught for a Bills touchdown. Keon Coleman, his second touchdown of the night. And the Bills have put this one to bed here in the fourth quarter. So add another one into the touchdown column. What a game. That is now 6 touchdown passes for him so far in this one. Now Prater to add the PAT. And the lead opens up now to 22 points. A 10-play drive that time. And it culminates in a Bills touchdown. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And now out comes Houston. Looking to put a drive together. Throwing now is Stroud. Over the middle, he gets it to Collins. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be second down. Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations.
And they take him down. The Bills get to him. Daquan Jones fighting his way home to get the sack.
You can just see it in their body language. They're starting to see victory on the horizon now, and if it comes to fruition, they got to give a game ball to the front 7. Defensive line has taken charge and controlled this game. Face a challenge of stopping this opposing offense, and they've done so with ease.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Stroud. There's a short throw taken in by Bryant. And he's not able to get away. He is stopped well short of a first down. The Texans tried it, but they come up empty here on 4th. And the Bills are going to take over in excellent field position. And here come the Bills. It's been a dominant performance to this point, Charles, and this is probably exactly how they scripted this and envisioned it. They got a 3-score lead, 4th quarter, and a chance if they want to continue to pour it on here.
It is their call, isn't it? I mean, the way that they have taken on this game and the way that they have carried this game and have dominated this game, you're exactly right. Do what you want down the stretch. We are in the era of, hey, if you don't want us to do this to you, then you need to stop us. Their call to finish this one off.
And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 44 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries. This defense, Charles, they have unraveled here in the fourth.
In a sense, it's like they're being pressed like in a basketball game, and they just can't get the ball over half court. I mean, no matter what they do, they can't get off the field. They can't slow them down. They're just going up and down the field against them. Yeah, unraveling would be a perfect word for them.
Allen now looks to throw. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be second down.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch, not much yardage afterwards.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Allen. And that is caught. Touchdown, Buffalo. Keon Coleman from 6 yards away. And the Bills up the lead to 4 scores now here in this fourth quarter. So that is going to tie an NFL record that has stood for more than 70 years. 7 touchdown passes in 1 game. It was first done by Sid Luckman of the Bears in 1943, then by Adrian Burke of the Eagles in 54, and now that mark equaled here in this one. Prater on to add the extra point. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends in a Buffalo touchdown. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And here comes the Texans now. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even 1 score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
And he is going to lose yardage here. It was Joey Bosa working his way in to bust that one up.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Checks this down to Marks out of the backfield. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Now Stroud. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
Well, this was a fun one today if you like points. A lot of them went on the board. Both offenses were clicking. Charles, these defenses, meanwhile, have a little something to clean up before their next contest.
Yeah, neither end zone had a stop sign in it, did they? I mean, for both sides, visit it, and with frequency. Not fun to be a defensive player, but on the offensive side of the ball, those guys had a blast. One team came away with a victory, even better for them.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From Houston, good night, everybody.